Now, going along the same lines as the high androgens is the low androgens. Now, women, you can have this, and this is what drives low libido. All the men are like, yeah, let's talk about this one. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Sally, get in here. He's talking about low libido. Barry just paid attention. Just kidding. Okay. Decreased muscle mass. Decreased flexibility. Feeling burnt out. Sore muscles. Increased joint pain. Neck pain. Back pain. Bone loss. Bone loss. Maybe this is what's causing it. You've got osteoporosis. Thinning skin. Rapid aging. Aches and pains. IBS. All tied to low androgens. Okay? Those symptoms. If that's you, here's what we do. Okay? If you want to get testing, you don't have to. If you want to, it's very difficult to test hormones in the blood. Now, high androgens, a little bit easier. Testosterone's a little bit easier to measure. DHEA is a little bit easier to measure. But a lot of times to really know where these are at, you want to do a dry urine test. A dry urine test. Okay? It's called a Dutch test. Dutch test. It's a dry urine test. Okay? Complete hormone panel. It'll give you all of them. Now, these can be a little expensive and they might not be covered by insurance, and your doctor's probably going to look at you like, Dutch? Huh? They probably wouldn't. It's like me talking about particle size tests. Like every day I have someone that's like, I asked them for the particle size test for my cholesterol and they had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, okay, a Dutch test, okay, could be a possibility. I believe you should take action steps first, right? Implement a supplement, do the eating plan, join the lifestyle before you like spend a lot on tests, because I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of money in clinical setting. They'd bring all their tests into me. I'm like, yeah, that's right, you can see and stuff. But I'm like, what did they tell you to change your eating? They're like, no. I'm like, huh. So you can go a long ways with this, all right? You should also do a thyroid panel. It could be involved. Again, D3's got to be above 50, fasting insulin between 2 and 6. If fasting insulin's high, that's the thing to focus on. Your eating's way off. So like you could skip all of this upper stuff. If D3 is down and insulin is high, you know what to do. You know what to do. You got to get your eating under control. You got to get your nutrition under control. And you got to take quality vitamin D3 to increase those 2 levels. I would just start there before I go to a Dutch test. Now, I like insulin between 2 and 6. My last one, I think I was at 4.5, right? I stay right in that range. Now, this is a little bit unique. They'll let you go higher than 6, but I like that 2 to 6 range. And if I can get mine like 4, below 4, I'm doing real good. Glucose is okay, right? Mine hangs like right at the upper 90s, okay? Ideally, get that a little bit lower day to day, but there's a lot of factors. I like testing insulin because that's really the response of it. So take a peek at that one. Any hormone condition, I think it's a really good idea. Okay, now, the challenge eating plan, okay? I would still follow the low heat, no bad oils. Eggs, choline, right? Eggs are very good for this. Low androgens, giving you some of those precursors, some healthy fats. No, it's not going to raise your cholesterol. Your oxidative AGE eating is what's damaging your cholesterol. Pumpkin seeds, almonds, leafy greens, fish, beans, and pomegranate. These foods have been shown to help enhance low androgens in women. Now, eggs are rich in protein, vitamin B6, and they have a great omega-3 ratio. Okay, I eat 3 of them multiple times a week in the mornings, 3 to 4. Almonds and pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, magnesium, and protein. Just a handful, or sprinkle them on a salad. The leafy green vegetables such as spinach and kale, those are rich in magnesium, B6, and iron, which helps support these. The wild oily fish like a salmon or a mackerel, very rich in omega-3s and rich in protein. And then the beans are rich in protein, also zinc and B vitamins and magnesium. So that's why we recommend those. Those are going to be precursors to these hormones. So low androgens, you're dealing with these symptoms, decreased libido, really achy, really sore, lots of inflammation. Your bowels might be inflamed. Seems like you're aging too fast. Okay, you're going to do that challenge eating plan. We're going to implement 10-minute workouts. This is going to drive the increase of human growth hormone. It's also going to help control cortisol, which are the 2 primary things working together for you to produce muscle and revitalize your joints. You kind of got to break them down a little bit in order to build them up and increase blood flow. It seems counterintuitive when you're hurting and when you're sore. Okay. Next, intimacy. Barry is going to love this one. Your husband's going to love this one. Your partner's going to love this one. Intimacy drives more intimacy, right? If you want more of these female sex hormones in a low androgen perspective, then you would have more sex. It stimulates them, okay? Even when you're not feeling like it, okay? That might not be the most pleasant advice Dr. Living Good gives you, okay? Maybe you just have no drive for that, but it does help stimulate it, right? Stress reduction, cortisol can work against these things, okay? We want it to work in tandem with them. So again, the sleep is very important. You can get full access to my full sleep training in your guide. Your paced breathing, you have full access to the paced breathing steps in your guide. Adaptogenic herbs like my de-stress formula might be an option for you. This is organic herbs that have been proven with research to have a big impact on normal cortisol levels. D3, again, it's the precursor to your hormones. To balance them, to produce the right ones, it's very important in a lot of these conditions. 4,000 plus units a day. If you're below 50, I would take 8,000. I would double it. Tribulus, fenugreek. Listen, let me speak to this with vitamin D3. I tested mine and it was below 50. I'm the guy that makes it. Like, your levels fluctuate. Don't get stressed. Just respond. I was like, mine slipped down. I think it was like 43 or something. I'm like, because I wasn't taking lots of it. I was taking my maintenance dose, 4,000. It kept me topped up. I wasn't in a 20 range, but I was a little lower than I wanted to be going into time I'm filming this. A colder season's coming. So I'm doubling it right now throughout the winter. That's what I advise a lot of people to do because the sun goes away. You don't get as much of it. And I'm very fair skinned. So mine fluctuate. This is why we test this stuff. This is why we look at it. Okay. Measure your D3. Now look what showed up again. Tribulus again. Okay. So we want to be taking a good look at that. To speak also just right above that, ashwagandha in studies has been shown to increase testosterone levels, mainly in men, but it also impacts women. Okay, and so that's an androgen. It improves sexual function. It reduces the stress response. The ashwagandha is in the de-stress. Because chronic stress decreases testosterone in the body. That's an androgen, women. So it's this chronic stress levels. The precursor for testosterone is vitamin D3, and then you can use adaptogenic herbs to lower the cortisol. But you can also add in some of these incredible nutrients. Let me show you a couple of these. We're going to get to horny goatweed as well. I know you're looking at that one, Barry. Okay, focus. What's horny goatweed? So, epimedium, horny goatweed, right? Epimedium is the female term. The men want to call it horny goatweed. Okay, so we're back in 6th grade. Prevents bone loss and supports women's hormones. Okay, so that bone loss side of things, this has an impact. It's phytoestrogen thick, got a lot of flavonoids in it, and it has beneficial effects of preventing bone loss. Now, if you're straight up just osteoporosis side of things, I have a bone support supplement. It has other things like wing treebine in it to really help with bones. But if it's hormone related and you're suspecting low androgens and you've got a lot of the symptoms with the achiness and the bones and this thin skin, then you might just want to add in, or if your libido is way down. Horny goatweed obviously is going to make an impact on that, but it is going to make an impact on the bones as well. Okay. Now, fenugreek is the second one I really like for androgens. Shown in studies that fenugreek extract really alleviates the vasomotor symptoms and the depression surrounding perimenopausal women. So this kind of like this low energy, this fatigue, this depression, this kind of like that sets in, this is what's going to make an impact on it. So fenugreek, I really like. Alkaloids is what is high in flavonoids. It's a very popular option, but this is a really good one for all types of hormonal balance. Concentrations establish a hormonal balance. All of these herbs are about balancing the hormones, even if you're high in one or low in another. Significant reduction in vasomotor effects and depression in perimenopausal women, okay, without any adverse effects. That's the kind of stuff I want to choose before HRTs and before progesterones and creams and bioidentical hormones. Tribulus, here it is again. It aids in androgens, okay? Placebo group, 30 women. At the end of the 4th week, patients in the tribulus group had experienced significant improvements in their arousal, in their lubrication, their satisfaction, the amount of pain that they're in, fertility. These things changed. You can read the desire, arousal, lubrication, satisfaction, pain. So this is another thing that can impact that aspect for you women. That's why I put that in here. Fenugreek, boom, there's the number 1. Tribulus, number 2. Okay, big time balancers. And there's the horny goatweed. I put it as epimedium on the label. Okay, for the men's one that I'll show you in a little bit, I listed it as horny goatweed for the men. So I literally put it as epimedium on the women's, and then for men's, I'll show you in a bit, it says horny goatweed. Because, all right, okay. We're going to have a little fun today. So, high androgens. The review. Go to your guide, okay? Find high androgens. Women only. There it is. Here's your symptoms. Okay? Excuse me, that was low androgens, my bad. Here's your symptoms, okay? The forgetfulness, the concentration issues, the brain fog, the depression, hot flashes even. Infertility, okay? These symptoms, that achiness, that pain with the joints, focuses, join the challenge, try a 10-minute workout, stress reduction techniques, better sleep blueprint, paced breathing, all these resources are right there for you. Then we want to focus on D3, tribulus, fenugreek, DHEA, and horny goatweed. All of those are in the women's hormone support. Okay? Men, we're going to circle back to this. Okay? Yours excludes IBS, but it's a lot of the same symptoms. Okay? Hey, coaches, adjust this. The men only. Move the hot flashes to women only. Switch your categories there. They threw in my symptoms wrong. Man, you're not having hot flashes typically. Okay. And then there's your breakdown for men and women. Men, I'm going to talk about this in a moment for you. Let's go there now. But this is all in your guide. Okay. Low androgens, men. You're having a lot of the same things. The concentration, the forgetfulness, the tearfulness, depression. It's just like, not normal. Now, you could have hot flashes. It actually is in the original quiz, to be fair. Coaches, it just seems confusing. It actually is in the original one. That's funny. I guess you could have it. But the scalp hair loss. This was the difficult trying to combine this into one quiz that fitted everything for men and women. But again, a lot of achiness. The libido's down. Men, for you, this is like, you just want to gain muscle. You want to have that stamina. You want to have that endurance. You want to have that performance. That's what you're looking for. That's missing. And you start getting flabby and you don't have the performance. So we turn to things like this. Okay, this is the first big topic we're going to talk about in this regard. TRT. Just take testosterone then. Take it in the natural form with a sweet potato, form of it. Or, I see a lot of different versions of this. The benefits seen with TRT, such as increased libido and energy levels, beneficial effects on bone density, strength, muscle, as well as cardioprotective effects, have been well documented. Okay? It can do those things. And I'm not faulting men that choose to use that. It just always comes at a cost. When you start messing with the 23 powerhouses in your body that are called hormones, you're just playing with fire. I know it can bring short-term results, and I know sometimes that's all we want. And I know sometimes you just want to, at all costs, I want to maintain my muscle mass. At all costs, I want to make sure I can perform. So I get it. I'm not faulting, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that the research shows, okay, it's contraindicated in men with untreated prostate and breast cancer issues. So if you have already prostate problems, or if you've had problems with the breast, like you're growing a lump, or maybe even had this, it's a real thing, okay? Men on TRT should be monitored for side effects. As blood issues, your red blood cells have problems, you get edema in your extremities especially, it can create heart dysfunction, and it can create liver problems. You need to measure your liver enzymes. You need to measure your CRP levels. You need to be on the lookout for swelling, and you need to measure your red blood cell levels. That's what it's saying. I don't think a lot of men that are put on this stuff are made aware, hey, just to make sure this is not messing you up and causing disease, that maybe we should measure these blood work items. Liver enzymes, C-reactive protein measures your heart. That's the most prominent two. And then take a look at your red blood cells. If it's creating problems there, what's the point? Right? Like something else is dry. I would rather get to the cause, okay, than the side effects. I'm not judging you. If you want to take this, you can. But I'm just saying there's other ways. So how do we dig into this thing? Well, you could get a full-on Dutch test, dry urine test, and look at your testosterone levels. They're going to be down. Your DHE levels, they're going to be down. You might have high estrogen. That could be the cause of all of this. We're going to get to that. Check D3. If D3 is down, this is the thing that is the precursor to every single hormone you have, and you're wanting more hormones. Get your D3 up. Check that fasting insulin. It is so involved. It is the bully on the hormone playground. There's 23 kids out there playing, and here comes insulin, right? And it's just beating kids up. What's the one? I'm thinking of like Happy, like Billy Madison or something right now. Forgive me if it's an inappropriate movie. But O'Doyle rules. That's insulin, okay? O'Doyle rules. Insulin rules. That's what it's doing. That's why it's so important to measure. It's so important to pay attention to. It's why I started with metabolic syndrome. Because if you got excess weight and insulin is messed up, it's going to impact it, okay? The challenge eating plan addresses this. Same as females, eggs, pumpkin seeds, almonds, leafy greens, fish, bean, pomegranate. This gives you clean protein. I really like the egg component. Okay, there's certainly other sources of protein that are good. I like steak. I like burgers. Those are good. Okay, these are just some of the good ones that really have a good balance of omega-3s as well. That's why I focus on like fish. I like the beans, like black beans and garbanzo beans, have a lot of magnesium and zinc in them, so they give you those good minerals. So men, okay, your sum up very similar to women. Getting the testosterone boosted. This is probably the key. Fast and work out at high intensity. Rotational fasting, high intensity workouts. Rotational fasting, high intensity workouts. When you fast, you drop insulin and HGH and testosterone goes up. I should have done. HGH and testosterone goes up. Rotational fasting is the best way to increase your natural human growth hormone, testosterone, men. If you can add in high intensity exercise, I like to add in weights as well. Okay, even recently I've been adding that in, like high intensity in the morning. I do some weights in the afternoon. Like I know, like not everyone's going to do that. I just, I'm into this stuff. That's how we increase it. That's how we put muscle back on. Every day you spend not picking up a weight or doing high intensity exercise is another day you're behind on building muscle for your body. You can lose it all in a couple months and it'll take you a couple years to get it back. That's what drives these hormones. Okay? Now, intimacy. Hey, Sal, did you hear that? Doc said I got a medical condition. We're going to have to, we got to increase frequency. Says the doctor. Dr. Livingood's words. I like this guy, Sally. I really do. I know I haven't been paying attention to him very much but I like this guy. He's telling me to increase my intimacy. So now they're paying attention. Now, okay, stress reduction. Again, cortisol is going to directly work against your testosterone. Okay. Increase the sleep time at the beginning of the night. Paced breathing exercises, very important to get the cortisol down. I gave you the whole guide on how to do that. Adaptogenic herbs, consider adding in stress-reducing adaptogenic herbs. They're in the stress support. There they are again, tribulus, fenugreek, forskolin, ashwagandha, zinc, B12. These are all the precursors. These are the ones that put the hormones together. These are the herbs that are going to stimulate it. I'll show you the research. Horny goatweed, and get that vitamin D3 in. Okay, ashwagandha is massive for men when it comes to testosterone. In fact, ashwagandha intake in men was associated with an 18% increase in DHEA and a 14, almost 15% increase in testosterone compared to a placebo. Can I say that one again? An 18% increase in DHEA is going to be the precursor for those hormones just after vitamin D. And then a 15% increase in testosterone. With ashwagandha, okay, how much did they use? How much did they use? How much do I need to take? How do I get that in? I'm going to show you that in just a second. The other herb, though, I want to highlight was forskolin. Favorable body composition alteration with concurrent increased bone mass and increased serum testosterone levels in overweight and obese men. You're not nailing the food and the challenge eating plan, but you can add in forskolin, help your body composition, that means getting rid of fat and balancing it out, help your bone density, and increase testosterone levels by properly getting that in. This is why I get excited about these nerds, because this is really, really, really solid research, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. Ashwagandha, forskolin, let alone those other precursors that I talked about. So that's why, introducing for the very first time, this is the men's hormone support. Men's hormone support. Wondering how much ashwagandha? The study showed 600 milligrams. That's how much is needed to impact that testosterone and DHEA. 600 milligrams, that's what got this result. 18% increase, 14% increase in testosterone. So that's exactly what I put in there. The horny goat weed is there, okay? Give you a little boost with the libido. A little bit of fenugreek for men. I'll talk about that in a bit. Forskolin. Zinc. B vitamins. The things I'm recommending pointing you to here are all in the men's hormone support. So you can get a discount on that, men, specifically for supporting men. And even if you're not experiencing prostate issues yet, or you're not experiencing, I hope you never do, or urinary flow, or you haven't fallen off in men's hormones, this is the kind of stuff to use for maintenance now to get the right herbs in to balance your cortisol levels, balance your hormones, so it doesn't lead to bone loss or prostate issues. That's how I built this thing, to balance it off. Even if you're taking it when you're not at that age yet, or if you're already at that age, hopefully to help support normal levels and get you out of it.